Hey guys, welcome back to Rossoneri TV. I'm Gio and I'm here for the match review of AC Milan against Bologna. Match that finished 3-0 for the Rossoneri with goals coming in from Deulofeu, Honda, and Lapadula. It can finally be said Milan will be participating in the Europa League, of course. That is to start with a third qualifying round, which will be taking place near the end of July. But what's the most important thing here is that we're finally back in Europe, and we have been waiting a very long time for this. I think it's since 2014 the last time in which we were actually participating in an European competition, and it just feels great to be back in it again. It was our objective from the beginning of the season, and I guess we have attained our goal. Of course, we are still not fully part of the competition. That's what many people fail to understand here, because we have to go through some qualifying rounds before we could actually play in the Europa League competition. But all of that will be taking place, like I said, in July. But like I said, the most important thing here is that we qualified and we will be at least participating in those rounds. Now, let's speak about the game. Honestly, it wasn't the best game, at least for 70 minutes. It was the same Milan that we had seen over and over again, I think, over the course of the season, but more over the course of the past few games. I think the last 5-6 games, we had a similar showing. We did dominate a bit more than the usual games. We did move the ball around better, but overall it was just, the same old Milan, the same old trying to dominate, trying to move the ball. Other than that, it was just the same old thing. I couldn't really wrap my head around it. But as soon as Carlos Bacca came off, which was, I think, around that 70th minute mark, if I'm not mistaken, things changed. Honda came in, and, personally, I've spoken bad about Honda many times, and I just wanted to take a minute to really appreciate his work ethic, okay? Because, yes, he has been given a lot of stick. He has been given a lot of criticism every time he played. No one was happy about this player, but what I could say about him is that he has great professionalism. It might have been his last game at the San Siro, possibly his last game ever to be played for Milan. But the way that this guy came in, full of determination, full of conviction to reach his goal. And for those people that do follow me on Twitter, I did tweet out about 10 minutes before he scored that Honda was going to score today, and he did score. So quite impressed by that. But anyways, the point here is that what we need at this club, and it's not only a message regarding this game, but also for the future. What we need at this club is players that are willing to play. Honda didn't play many games this season, very few actually, but the way that he came in today, like I said, with determination, with the goal of achieving something, that is what I want from players. They might not be the best players, but when you are playing for Milan, you must give 100%, okay? And what I saw from Honda today, that's exactly what I want to see in every Milan player, not only in this season, but for the future. That's what I want from Milan. I don't care how bad you are. I don't care how good you are. As long as you go into games and actually give it your all and actually try, that to me speaks a lot more than, just being there and walking around like some players have been doing. And this is not to take shots at Bacca again, but, the difference was quickly seen as soon as he came off. Milan started to gel, Milan started to move again, they started to create plays, and that maybe might have been a coincidence, but too many times this season, Bacca was a problem, and unfortunately for him, I think it's time for him to move on to another club. I think it's time and Milan is over. Besides on this beautiful free kick goal, Deulofeu, the man himself, once again on the score sheet, no surprise there. Possibly one, if not the best player alongside Donnarumma in this second half of the season. probably the best alternative that we could have brought in at that time in January to replace the injured Bonaventura. I'm very, very glad that Deulofeu came in and gave it his all. Another player that knows how to work hard. Another player that, even though he's not even fully part of this team, he's not owned by us, knows the value of playing for Milan. And what he's shown over this second half of the season, to me, speaks great volume. Whether or not we will see him again next season, I don't know. But for me, Deulofeu coming in, not even fully owned, just to play on loan for Milan, and he was showing these things for us. To me, it really speaks volumes. And, you know, it's kind of embarrassing for the players that have been here for a long time and have done not even 10% of what Deulofeu did in this second half of the season. And what he showed, 17, 18 games, I think he did more than a lot of players on Milan. So I'm very, very happy about him. Like I said before, whether or not he's going to stay at Milan, who knows? But I'm very happy with what he's shown. And I think a major reason as to why we were even capable of getting to 6th place and clinching it was due to him, because not many people were expecting Deulofeu to fully replace Bonaventura this season, to fill in his shoes, to give us exactly what Bonaventura was doing in that first half of the season. But he proved a lot of people wrong, and he proved them that he was capable of doing just that. So yet again, very, very happy for that. And Lapadula, the third goal, the cherry on the cake, really. He did have a good chance also in the first half where he missed a sitter. In the second half, he did score beforehand, but it was ruled offside. And finally, at the 91st minute, he got his goal. Again, he's a player that works very hard. I'm impressed by him. But his finishing needs to be better, and I think we all know that. Also, for you guys, the Cutrone fans, he finally had a few minutes in his legs today for Milan. So, happy that he made an appearance. I think Montella finally wanted to give him a chance, wanted to give him, you know, a sight of the pitch of what it feels to play for the senior squad, and Cutrone did exactly that. So, you know, happy for him that he actually made an appearance today, and you know, he showed what he was capable of in those little few minutes that he played. So happy for that. Overall, guys, like I said, I'm just happy that we made it. I said it yesterday, it wasn't going to be an easy match, and until the 70th minute, I really didn't think that we were going to go out there and score 3 goals. But like I said on Twitter, you know, this team's momentum and mood swings are just, you can't even compare it to any other team. As soon as we score a goal, it's like we have this all-time high, and as soon as we concede, we have an all-time low. It's absolutely crazy how this team's momentum changes every goal. But that's Milan. That's been the case of Milan for many years, and that's exactly what they showed again today. As soon as Deulofeu scored that goal, it seemed like Milan was, you know, just going at it on all fronts. I'm happy that it gives them that momentum. But at the same time, this is the way that they should be playing for the full 90 minutes. And I cannot stress it more than that. We've said it over and over again over the course of the season, over the course of the past few years. But, you know, that's exactly what Milan is. Also, feels good to actually finish above Inter after, I believe, 3 seasons. We will be playing in Europe. They will not. So, unfortunately for them, they're going to have to stay home and watch some reality show while we play in Europe. So too bad for them. But yeah, guys, I'm happy. You guys should be happy as well. Finally, this nightmare that we've been waiting for so long to finally go back is done. We have been waiting weeks and weeks actually to take advantage of Fiorentina's and Inter's negative results. We couldn't take those advantages. But finally today, the win came and we qualified for the third qualifying round. So let me know your thoughts, guys, on the game in the comments section. Very curious to see what you guys think about the team's performance and the result. Are you guys happy that we are back in the Europa League? Let me know all of that, and I'll get in your thoughts in just a few moments. Eduardo Orellana says, talk about Matias Fernandez. What an assist, really, from Fernandez today was on Deulofeu's goal. A beauty of a pass from him, and also on Lapadula's goal. Very good work. Matty Fernandez has always been the type of player that, personally I wasn't too impressed with, but every time that he did play in the midfield, he showed some class. He showed some experience because he knows what it is to play in the Serie A. And, Montella wanted him for a reason. Again, I think he's a player that should be remaining at Milan. I think that, he could be a good depth player to have on the bench. Not a starter, but like I said, we need players that could come on and make a difference. And today, that's exactly what we saw with Matty Fernandez. He came on at the beginning of the second half for Bertolacci, and he did his job. He got the job done. He got 2 assists. Very happy for him. And yeah, he did his job. Like I said, we need players, even though they don't start, they're capable of coming off the bench and providing the results that Milan needs. And that's exactly what Matty Fernandez did today. Where was Suso, says Majed. Suso was actually suspended for this match, and that's why he did not play. David Maloney says Montolivo was good today. I was actually quite happy with how Montolivo was moving. He did pass the ball very well, and I was happy about that. Once again, it's something like a process too, because let's not forget that he just came back from his injury last game against Atalanta, or maybe the game before. Either way, he's still adapting to getting back into full competitive matches. And Montolivo, it's going to take time. I don't think he's a player that should be leaving next season. But same thing goes, like I said, with Matty Fernandez or Bertolacci. These are players that will most likely be, or at least if I had the choice, will most likely be players I would keep on the bench and could come on to give Milan some fuel or change the game like Matty Fernandez did. Anika says, Gio, who did you think would unlock this match? How many of the goal scorers do you expect to stay? Lapadula seems to have Milan in his heart. Deulofeu, like I said many times, honestly speaking, I don't know how he would be able to stay, because Barcelona, I've definitely seen what Deulofeu is capable of in these 17 to 18 games. I think he got 3 assists and 4 goals during that time, and he always provided great things to Milan. But I'm not quite sure if he's gonna stay at Milan or not. Honda, him too. He's gonna leave. I think he's gonna leave this summer, regardless of this goal. I don't think a goal could change your fate. And honestly, this was a farewell gift to the fans that Honda gave, because even though he didn't play many games, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, every time he did come on, he showed his professionalism, and it was a goal that should be remembered by the fans for what kind of player he was. A player that, I'm not saying every time he came on changed the game, because that would be false, but every time he did come on, he would work in a way that, he was determined and wasn't really lazy all the time. And I think we saw that more as the time passed for Honda. It's not an easy job, staying on the bench for the entire season and then coming on out of nowhere and changing games. It's definitely not an easy job. But when you have the right mind, that's exactly what you need to change games and to work hard. And Honda showed that today. A lot of people are saying in the comment section, Gomez did pretty good today. He did good. He did very good. I really like that back heel flick kind of thing he did. I was really happy for that. Yeah, Gomez had a good game, and a few people were actually saying yesterday in the match preview, I would prefer him to start over Zapata, and it seems like Montella heard you guys. I was happy with the decision, and I was happy also with how Paletta and Romagnoli played today. And I did also mention yesterday, if Milan was able to keep a clean sheet, we would definitely win this match. And Bologna really didn't threaten Milan much today or at all. Donnarumma didn't have much to do, to be honest. So it was an easier match for the defense than usual. But yeah, Gomez, he did a good match. He had a good match, but it was still against Bologna. I want to see these players actually perform against top squads, top teams. And regardless of how he played today, I still think that we need major reinforcements in the defense. Gaming Moldova says, after a break, Honda scores a goal. Well done. I think this was the last match and the last goal for Milan. Exactly what I said before. Christy says, guys, how many clean sheets does Donnarumma have? If I'm not mistaken, we have reached 12 clean sheets. If someone could confirm with me, let me know. But I think we have reached 12. Yad Stan says, do you think we will stick with a 3-5-2? Personally, I don't think so. It's a formation that's good to have, because Milan, we showed that we were capable of working with that 4-3-3 this season. Yes, we did lose games, that's for sure, but we were pretty comfortable with the 4-3-3 as we played it throughout the season. And we also tried out this 3-5-2 formation within games, throughout games, and also at the beginning of games. So I think if a team could adapt to different formations and they could play different modules, and like we have seen now, Montella is implying this 3-5-2 on them. I'm not necessarily saying that this is the formation that Montella should be going with, but what I'm saying is that if they have a 4-3-3 and they could also play the 3-5-2 and change in between games or at the beginning of games based on the opponent that they played, then obviously this favors them. It's honestly something that every team needs to have, a change of formation. You cannot just go with one formation in every match for 38 games. Teams will figure you out. Teams will understand exactly how you play and how they need to stop you. So it's good to have. It's definitely good to have a change of formations like that. Aniket says, Gio, Milan finishing the objectives a match day before the last one. Now we can test out the quality in the Primavera side. What does Montella ever call Lamas to the first team? I'm honestly not sure why, but I don't think that even next game there's gonna be many or all Primavera players playing in that match against Cagliari. I think Montella is definitely gonna try to play a lot more of the players that didn't really get a chance this season to play. Guys like Poli, for example. These are the type of players that would play. I will probably even see Cutrone starting next game, just because there's no next game really has no purpose. We have already clinched Europe, so honestly there's no purpose. So I think next week we'll see guys in the team, obviously in the senior squad already, that haven't played much. And we might even see Plizzari, for that matter. Donnarumma might not even play. So yeah, we'll definitely have to see what happens next week. Just a few more questions before I sign off here. What do you think of Bacca's performance? Not good enough again. Not good enough again, like I said before. I am Nick actually confirms with me. Donnarumma has now kept 12 clean sheets. That's exactly what I thought. In Serie A this season, only Szczesny has kept more clean sheets with 14 this season. That's a very good statistic to know. Donnarumma had a phenomenal season. Yet again, saved us many times, many games. He won them for us. So very, very happy about Donnarumma. And for those people that are still wondering what will happen with Donnarumma, will he get his contract renewal, his contract extension? Rest assured, whenever it happens, we will be making a video on Rossoneri TV, and chances are that talks might start either next week with Raiola or the week after once the season is done. But this needs to get solved. It definitely needs to get solved in before the summer starts. So I think in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we should really know exactly where Donnarumma stands with the contract renewal. Chrissy says, Joe, you buying the new kit? I definitely am. I definitely will. That jersey, if you guys watch the match, you know, we saw it in the past few days on pictures and so forth, but I really wanted to wait to see it being worn in a game. And honestly speaking, guys, what a beauty of a jersey. I love it that it's simple, classic, traditional. All those elements that really make up the true Milan colors are on it. So yeah, I definitely will buy that jersey. It's beautiful. I don't know if I'm gonna get a player in the back. I usually tend to go with jerseys with no player names in the back because nowadays players come, players leave, and you just never know if that player will stay. So I prefer, you know, just a fresh jersey with no names in the back. But I will definitely look out to buy that one. That's for sure. Flame Mario says, Gio, I think Baca is trying to be bad so he can leave Milan. I don't think he's trying to be bad. I think he just cannot perform anymore. You know, it's not a thing that a professional should be doing to try to be bad, not to play anymore. I don't think so because let's be honest, you're being paid millions to play, okay? You need to perform. And you cannot just go into games and walk around and not perform and honestly not give two shits about the team. You have to go there and play. And Baca hasn't done that. I don't think he has done it on purpose. It's just his qualities are not good enough at the moment. And I said this weeks ago, months ago. He's been scoring goals, but the way he has been playing doesn't cut it for me. Lapadula, a guy that hasn't scored as many goals as Baca, but his work ethic is way different. For me, is a player that I would prefer to have instead, just for the way that he works for the shirt. Because to me, yes, you can score goals, and Baca has got his goals this season, not as many as last year, but you cannot go with a guy with that type of mentality in playing into Europe. You cannot go with a guy like that. You need a guy stronger, determined, a guy that can score more goals than you, and that is why Milan desperately need a very world-class striker in the summer. We need to acquire one for sure. Alright guys, that's gonna wrap it up for the match review. Thank you all for joining me for the review and for this video. My apologies yet again if I wasn't able to make the live stream watch along today. But thank you guys for the support. Next week is the last game against Cagliari. And there's no meaning to it, to be honest, because we have already attained our goal. So just to recap, Milan have clinched the 6th place position with this 3-0 win against Bologna, and we will be participating in the Europa League 3rd qualifying round. So there's going to be a 3rd qualifying round. If we make it through that, there's going to be a playoff round, and then it's the group stage. So all of that will be starting at the end of July. I believe the draw date to know exactly our opponent is going to be in the middle of July. I think July 14 or something like that. But we will be covering everything over that in the summer. So make sure you subscribe to Rossoneri TV. Make sure you leave a like on the video. And I'll be seeing you guys soon for yet another one. This has been Gio, signing off from Rossoneri TV. And as always, Forza Milan!